what we're going to show you is what's possible with high school students using this technology intensively for a year. They might want to study urban heat islands and their effect on climate. They might be more interested in how land use has changed in a very rapidly growing county in Virginia. They might be interested in figuring out what the milk shed is of a young woman's dairy farm. They might be really excited about alternative energy and want to figure out where they could site wind turbines offshore. These are the kinds of problems that geospatial semester students have attacked, and this is the work that they do at the end of the semester. And at that time, Virginia's governor was then Mark Warner, who's now our state senator, or one of our senators, and he was really pushing AP in particular. And we started to wonder, well, could we think outside that AP box and construct a different sort of experience that would allow students to use cutting edge technology, GIS, and use it to work on problems that they were interested in, to really put the students at the center of this. And that's how the geospatial semester was born. Let me tell you what this is not, and it's critical to understand this distinction. This is not essentially getting to know ArcGIS Pro for high school students, or something equivalent to a death march through every button, every click, every tool. This is a spatial problem solving class that allows the students to build solid GIS skills, but it is not a GIS technology focused class. And I think that's a really important distinction. And what we've seen is the students really respond to that. Mike, maybe you could talk a little bit about assessment. I know you've thought a lot about that and what sorts of things that you do and your fellow Loudoun County teachers.
So in Loudoun, we're more project-based, so this fits perfectly with it as we've evolved more in the county. This course has always been problem-based ever since the beginning, but the county has kind of started working its way toward that. So we were already a natural fit, and a lot of teachers have looked to this course kind of for some ideas about, well, how do you do project based? How do you give them these large projects? And I can tell you that from day one of this course, students have loved the fact that this is a non-paper pencil type test. It's project based, and they love that fashion of it. To know that they can be assessed on what they can do and what they can show is a phenomenal change for them, and they are much happier with that. And that's one thing that they tell me every year, that is one thing that they love. So I will pick out projects, things that either have been created by others or things that I create myself. Real world problems, things that you're going to see out in I'm actually working on a project right now that I just actually was talking to Catherine about today, that I'm looking at crimes, like kind of a crime scene investigation, like a FBI crime, to get them involved in using the technology but solving real world problems. And that's what the beauty of this course has been.
And very briefly, let me just tell you, we've done an extensive research project looking at students that participated in this year-long class and an equivalent set of classmates that didn't. I'm not going to go into chapter and verse. I just want to highlight 4 quick things. What we see is students in the geospatial semester see improved spatial thinking skills on the standard instruments that psychologists use to measure this. By the way, that nothing that we teach in the class, by taking the class, we see that those skills improve, and those are a gateway to STEM careers. We see differential positive improvement for young women. This causes the girls' performance to increase more than the boys across the year. We see improved problem-solving skills on a number of different areas, including problem recognition and arguing from evidence. And then lastly, we've actually taken a group of folks, and this research is done with Northwestern and folks at Georgetown. we've taken a subset of kids over to the fMRI machine, the brain scanner at Georgetown, and we've actually looked at before and after, start of the year, end of the year, changes in cognition, how the students' brains are wired, and we see a variety of effects. I'm just going to show you one. This is what's called a connectivity map. And what you're seeing are the areas of the brain that are differentially connected, more so for the geospatial semester students than the non-geospatial semester students. We're seeing clear, quantifiable results. And so this really supports what Charlie has been telling us since I first met him in the 1990s, that this has an impact. This actually causes positive learning gains for students.
If you can share that, Bob, I'll ask you in the meantime, while Catherine is working on that, one question. Can you talk briefly about the commentary that you have heard from students who have come back after leaving high school and some of their words from either college or career?
I surely can, Charlie, thanks. So what we discover is not every student is deigned to become a GIS specialist. But what they've found is that the tool applies to so many, and you all, I don't need to preach the ubiquity of GIS to this particular group, but the students are realizing that, and they're able to take the tool. It allows them to join research groups early on. It's given them access and opportunities with internships. There's no small number that now work at Esri, actually, as it turns out. But they've also gone to a number of other firms that use GIS, or they've brought that skill set forward. And even the ones that haven't walked down a GIS-centric path, the experience opened that world of inquiry-based or problem-based learning back up to them in ways that were shut off for much of their school career.